August 21, Netherlands GP. Your Max Verstappen prepared for your home weekend to deliver a flawless result, as always. You qualify on P3, considering how the season is going, a pretty decent spot. In the race, you do a magnificent launch, but almost put the car in the gravel, while grabbing the P2 from Norris. After holding him for quite a time, he finally passes you. McLarens are comfortably hanging for 1-2, until a mechanical failure occurs on Lando's car, which resulted in your promotion for P2. At that point, 104 points in the championship doesn't give you much hope, and title looked like miles off. But here we are, ahead of the last race of the season, which is Abu Dhabi. You've now got just 20 points to the leader to win the title. However, it's still quite a gap to close, given this year's patterns and cars. Let's find out how did we ended up in this point. It all starts in Italy. Red Bull went with slowdown for a setup that was costing a lot in Sector 2. However, with Max being behind the wheel, that straight line speed was a massive factor in his win, where firstly he lost a place to Norris at the start, but returned it back lately. In Baku, McLarens had to dominate again, but they did a massive slap in their face, as both of their drivers dropped the ball in qualifying and were P17 and P9, whereas Max, in those slippery conditions, took pole and won from start to finish. Singapore was all around quali. Unfortunately for Max, Russell pulled off a stunning lap for P1 and win onwards. It still felt like a long shot, as the gap to Piastri was 63 and 41 to Norris. But Red Bull continued developing their car to give Max the best technique possible. In US soil, where Max is a leader in terms of race win, which is 7, the miracle had to happen. And it did. Both McLarens collided in the sprint. The 4-1 McLaren in the face of Lando Norris was still in the contention in main qualifying and ended up in P2, while the other one in P9. Verstappen was comfortably leading, while his pal Leclerc what looked like defended Max from Norris. The gap tied down to just 40 points between Max and Piastri, to 26 between Max and Lando. Next on the way was Autodromo Hermano Rodriguez in Mexico. This was always a happy ground for him. Nonetheless, it was one off. Max had to battle with lots of drivers, luckily not picking up penalty points for some incidents. This was truly a special weekend for Lando, who went on to win the race with a chunk of domination. Hidden response had to be the Brazilian GP. Initially, they chose the wrong setup for the sprint part of the weekend, which resulted in unusual chaoticness with setup changes, and after not successful main qualifying, where Max was out in Q1 on pure pace, Red Bull decided to change it for the third time, and it clicked. Starting from the pit lane, Max was driving extraordinary. However, initially he reported that he had no pace on the worst tire that was available for that weekend. That is hard. Ironically, he picked up the puncture along the way, so during safety car he started his comeback to P2 again. Had they not made those mistakes with setup, they could either won straight away or wouldn't have even reached that level they did. With Max, you cannot expect him to give up even in those hard or uncomfortable conditions. After Brazil, the gap was 49 points to the different championship leader in the face of Lando Norris. At that point, it looked like Max would need a miracle to have a chance at winning the title. And that's when Vegas happened. Lando secured P1, while Max settled in P2. While focusing too much on Max, Norris forgot to brake at the right spot, so Max took the lead. Winning wasn't enough. He needed something more, something out of his hands.
Norris and Oscar Piastri have been disqualified from the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Both McLarens were disqualified for excessive plant wear. After the bad weather in Nevada, McLaren weren't able to acquire what are the right settings, so they had to guess for the race. That went down not in a pleasant way for them. The 40-point gap tied down to just 24 in Qatar. Louisiana was and is the ground that Piastri loves. That continued for this race too. Oscar won the sprint, while his rivals Lando and Max finished P3 and P4. In the race, Max made a massive overtake at the start. So was P2 after the first corner, until the safety car came out in lap 7 because of Hulk and Gasly crash. That was a genuine blunder for McLaren. as this weekend we had a restriction, no more than 25 laps on each tire. This safety car was a dream for every team, except Papaya. They are playing this fairness game to the cost of wins and probably driver title. They stayed out because they thought they had a flexibility, when in reality it was a time bomb. Max went on to win the race and cut the gap to 12 points. That's still a massive gap going in the last race, that is Abu Dhabi. This is a medium downforce circuit thanks to the long flat-out section. Teams can even trim off their wing for good aerodynamic balance. The Yas Marina Circuit is almost 306 kilometers long and features 58 laps with a lap distance of 5.281 kilometers and lap record of 1 minute 25 seconds and 537 milliseconds. That was set here by Kevin Magnussen as forever with F1. These 58 laps of glowing cathedral of speed rising from the desert had already decided a four-way battle for the championship in 2010. With just 2 races to go, Vettel was 25 points off of leader. He went on to win both this Grand Prix and become a champion in Abu Dhabi. Before we go down to one that could be one of the best title decider in F1 history, just a small portion of news for you to know after the Qatar Grand Prix. McLaren made a few signings for their development program. Brand new F2 champion Leonardo Frenaroli, Richard Vershoor, who is also an F2 driver, and Christian Costoya. And we had it confirmed, Isaac Hadjar to Red Bull in 2026 and Arvid Lindbergh to pair with Liam Lawson for 2026 Racing Bull seat. Tsunoda find himself out of seat for 2026 and will just be a test and reserve driver for Red Bull. Thank you for watching, hit like and subscribe button to not miss any F1 content, drop your predictions and thought who do you think gonna take the crown under the bright light of Yas Marina Circuit and put their name in F1 history.